Hello everybody and welcome back to the AQWFresh series, where I basically play as a free player. I kind of experience the game as if I started the game as a free player or a new player or whatever, in a sense that kind of experience the game as a first time. Now, this series focuses on what has changed over through the years in terms of farm and how is it comparable from back then to now, since I'm a long-time player. Okay, for starters, I leveled up, I ranked up my classes that I obtained previous week, and I pretty much just focus on Legion, Reborn, and some classes, Elysium, and a few minor things just to help for progress throughout the series as I complete my quest and obtain all the badges and classes and whatever. So I pretty much focused on the Reborn stuff, which was my first actual farm that took me a long time to do and actually required me to have a lot of focus. Due to the fact that I am off this week, I was able to complete a lot of stuff that required me to have a lot of time on my hands to complete. Now, when it comes to Reborn stuff, there's a lot of back and forth and some of the quests have RNG to, in a sense of, when you complete the quest, either you're going to get 1 or 2 items of the thing or 3 or 4. So there's a lot of back and forth. The first quest was the Reborn Paladin. That took me roughly 3 hours to farm, and the Doom Knight was 2 hours. I was really surprised that the Doom Knight took less than the Paladin, although I did not complete the final quest due to the fact that I'm not a member. Now, when it comes to Reborn stuff, it does require stuff that you use already part of the game. Now, due to the fact it's already part of the game, some of the stuff was just sitting in my bank already, either from me farming a mob and a random drop that might be required are used inside future things. Now, due to the fact that I am an old player, I do know what stuff I need for some of the quests, so I kind of like make that a benefit, I guess. Then, when it comes to farming, it is a chore in the sense of trying to get everything right, because RNG doesn't go in your favor if you're not really careful. Now, there's some stuff I did do that was beneficial because it's going to be required for my future farms. Now, I did do some of the stuff already because, for example, like Balance, that has Dragon of Time and Champion of Fire. Now, with those type of farms, it is rather interesting of how some of the stuff actually connects together. Now, when it comes to these type of videos that I do for the series, I do plan my stuff according of the calendar and pretty much convenience. Now, some of the stuff I did do didn't appear to be more precise. How I can say the best way to farm. I try to farm in a sense that is safe and more, how can I say, convenient. Because I don't want to farm quickly at one thing, then I have to go back to the same thing again. I rather like spend maybe extra hour or so farming the same mob that's going to be beneficial. So I don't have to go back and spend another 2 hours or 3 hours. So trying to min-max basically. Now, I pretty much focus on the Reborn Paladin. This one wasn't hard, it was just a lot of back and forth and quickly farm some human souls. Now, I had to get the Ascended Drakroth gear, and I really have the stuff, but it was just sitting in my bank. So it's pretty much, okay, do you have the stuff? Then yes, okay, cool. Then it's pretty much an easy farm. Now, in the sense of actually doing the stuff, it's not hard. It's just really a lot of back and forth. Now, I do like lace farms because some of it is kind of, a grind, which I like grinding. as you guys can see. Now, when it comes to Glaze Farms, it's really pretty much a lot of back and forth. Although it gets a little bit tedious because the mobs are really like harsh in a sense. Now, what I mean by harsh is like you're farming like a 500k health boss and the job rate is like 2%. It's like, no, I don't want to farm at 2% on a 500k health and the pub is dead. So I'm only one person is farming it. So it's like demoralizing sometimes. So luckily for my case, there were some people already farming for some of the bosses I needed. Now, when I do farm, I try to farm in Swordhaven, which is a relatively low populated server and quite fast for me since I'm closer to EU. And in the sense of actually pubs, I try to use Artrix. Now, due to the fact I'm not a member, it is a problem. Trying to go into the server and it's like full, okay, refresh, full, okay, refresh, full, okay, refresh. Hey, 2 spots open, go in, full. It's annoying. But yeah, so when it comes to bosses that require like a hefty amount of kills and or a drop rate is quite low, I hop on to Artrix. Sometimes I do ask for help in the sense just to get things a lot faster, but most of the times when it comes to pubs that have a drop rate is quite low or a massive amount of farming, those rooms have a person or two always quite popular. So I am fortunate that some people are still farming in those regards of farms, but again, it's not relatively reliable because some of the stuff is really outdated. These old farms I'm pretty much doing. Although Lay is a newer addition to hard farms, I still have to pull some strings because like sometimes it's like I had to farm Azalith. Azalith is the boss with 800 million health and it hits hard, so I need a party. Now, that room is not relatively popular, but in some ways it is. Now, I had to pull some strings because it was dead. And I waited like an hour to just seeing what's happening and seeing, okay, is this going to happen? Yes or no? No? Okay. I guess I'm just going to accept my fate. So, I pretty much focused on the Paladin, which was done already. Then I started to do Yummy No Ronin. Due to the fact I farmed the Legion tokens, which was throughout all the dailies that I did. Oh man, please don't tell me about the dailies when it comes to Legion stuff. You know, I like doing dailies, I like doing bosses, but don't put me in a position where I have to wait for people. Because sometimes when it comes to dailies, it's horrendous, to say the least. Now, it is fun to do the bosses, but it's just that waiting and hoping someone's actually going to be more reliable is kind of a problem in a sense. So I started to do Yamino Ronin so I can just do some of the pubs. Some of the bosses I can like pub with a dodge only class. Because there are some bosses that dodge, and some bosses you can actually dodge with. So I went for Yami Norona because it is a badge and a class I can use just to kind of abuse my dodge, so I can have a way to solo some bosses. Now, Yami Norona is on the slower path of having a way to survive bosses, although when you actually use the class, it's a gamble because you kind of pay attention to your dodge when you reveal yourself with flash and your healing of your fourth ability and your second ability where you have to keep on spamming it to do more damage. Now, I digress. I focus on Yami no Ronin, and it's just some bosses I have to do, some bosses I have to kill. I had to kill Undead Rack Score. one of those situations I had to farm like 15 times, and it's a tanky, and he has counter, and he has a lock skill, so it's kind of like, okay, what to do now? Then I farmed the frozen Pyromancer. This thing, I don't know why, the drop rate is bad. So it took me a while. I was speaking to someone, so the time went by very quickly. I didn't really pay attention to how long I was doing the farm. And I got my Katana, then I got my Yamina Ronin. Since it was Tuesday, and the boost was still occurring, I tried to rush to get the Sovereign of Storms. Now, I was dreading when it comes to this farm, because I wasn't sure how much or how long it's going to take. Now, due to the fact there was a recent nerf to the saga where they make the mobs a lot weaker, and the boss, well, I already did the boss like previous episodes, to just doing it dailies and just wrapping up. It was not a hassle. I was worried there's going to be a hassle because it's more on a newer saga, so the bosses actually have abilities that make the fights more interesting. And due to the fact that there's no one here in the maps, it was horrendous to solo. So I had to kind of like use Cav and just hope for the best, because really it was really an experience, to say the least. Now, I was fortunate enough for the one map that allowed me to farm the mob 10 times, because when it comes to those type of farms, you really do hope that those farms actually have a longer way to farm than you just turn it once or turn it 5 times or 3 times, because the more times you have to sit and stop is the longer you're going to take. Because then if for example for me, I watch videos or movies while I do my farming, so I don't really pay attention when it comes to farming. So sometimes I do miss some parts of getting an item. So like for example, I farm and it's like, okay, something interesting is happening on my side of the screen. It's a fight. So I farm. It's like 2 months later, I already have the item, and it's been like almost the past minute. So it's like, psst, that was not supposed to happen. But yeah, luckily I do pay attention on my screen, and I try to have as much focus on the items that drop. Now, luckily for me, I didn't miss that much time on farming, and I quickly got all the armors of the Queen Iona's saga, which is the Cold Thunder saga, yes. Then I got Sovereign of Storms. Due to the fact it was Tuesday, I leveled up the Sovereign of Storms, then I also leveled up the Yamina Ronin, because those are the classes I focus on Monday and Tuesday. Monday was pretty much just Reborn and classes. Tuesday was Doom Knight and Sovereign of Storms. Then I went and do the Yoshi event because it was his birthday, and I did it for 3 days, and it was relatively cynical because I had some things I want to say, because when the event came out, I had to have one character farm me the house guard, and the house guard was absolutely annoying to get. And also, I meant to say Doom Knight was the next day. I forgot that I didn't do on Monday due to the fact that I ran out of time. So Wednesday I focus on Doom Knight, then Yoshi. So let's go back to the Yoshi. I had to farm the guard for my video, and holy, as soon as they killed the Zard Hunter, everyone just ditched the room. So it's like, okay, 20 people, okay, easy, that's gonna be a quick farm. And no kill. No drop. It was like, okay, are you guys gonna sit and wait? And you just see 20, 18, 14, 12. I'm like, really? Are you guys just here just for the kill? And they just room hop. No, I didn't have an issue with that because I was pretty much focused on me doing the Doom Knight and doing it in time because I wanted to get the house guard and I wanted to focus on Doom Knight, so I was kind of multitasking. Although there were some cases where house guard did drop, but I was not attacking. So, I even room hopped, and the house guard dropped. Then as soon as I left the room, so I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" So I had some fun experiences for the past 3 days for Yoshino's events. Then I pretty much focused on the last accessible quest for the Doom Knight. I really want to do the last quest, but I want to play this as a free player. So me be able to complete the last quest, I need to be pretty much a member because it needs Separatist armor and it needs the dark energy, which is the only way is to start with fail. I'm really going to think about this one. Basically the dark version of Artrix. So then I've started with the Chaos of Envoy for the Hollowborn. Now, some of the stuff I did farm, for example, the Ascended stuff for Drakroth, I did farm for the Blind Axe Destiny on Monday. I also farmed for the Fates, but I didn't record it because it's just like a kill, really. It's not really that big of a deal. And I noticed that while I was going through all the requirements for the Chaos of Envoy, I have majority of the stuff. So when I was doing Chaos Avenger, and this was in 2022 or 23, when I got the class, I redid some of the armors because there was a lot of back and forth for the Chaos Lords and the Chaos Beasts. So I had to make use of that while I was farming for the Chaos Avenger. Now, there was some of the stuff I didn't have. It was the Titan Drakroth armor, so I had to farm that. This took a little bit more time because it is some RNG except to the last part. So that one took some time, and this probably took me 2 hours to say the least, maybe 3 hours. I can't remember. I don't really pay attention to time when it comes to farming for this week because I was trying to rush as much as I could for getting all of the Hollowborn stuff done because I really do not want to go back to the Hollowborn. Although I am going to be coming back to the Hollowborn soon for the Reborn Vindicator and some of the merge of Ultra Gramiel. Now, when it comes to actually farming for the Chaos Envoy, it was a lot of stuff in my bank really. So, and I also had to farm some bosses, which was relatively interesting to say the least because I was farming and the stuff, I believe it's like maybe 1% or 2% drop. It was not dropping. The armors, I think it was the Stirring Discord. That quest was horrendous because the drops were not dropping and these bosses were tanky and the rooms were dead, even on the busy servers. So I went to the next quest and this one was easier because I had to farm the Chaos Beasts. And some of the stuff I really have. And for the Draco Vampire, I kept on farming. And I didn't realize the thing dropped on the first kill. So I just kept on going. I didn't realize it was a member item, so I wasn't focused on a gold icon. I was pretty much focused on white only. Then I farmed Gary with his mini pet. So I pretty much targeted all the beasts and farmed for the pets so I can have it on by my side. Now, when it comes to the type of farms, I try to min-max as much as possible, but sometimes if you try the min-max, you're kind of sacrificing time, because at times I do want to farm more so I can try to come back. But for some parts of this farm, I could not do that. Like I wanted to farm the chaos shards, but then I realized that the corrupted wolves had the stuff as well. So I kind of like did not do that much research, I guess, because when I was farming it, I was like, oh wait, this also dropped the shard of chaos. Oh, I could have made use of this then, which was embarrassing when I found out. Now, when I did the unique quarry, some of the stuff I had in my inventory, and some of the stuff was quick kills. Luckily, I was fortunate for the mirror portal, because I'm worried about those two maps, because when it comes to Xiang, I'm so butchering that, Dear's Lord, Zing and Zhang. When it comes to those ones, those bosses tend to take a lot longer because of the skills that the mobs have. So I kind of had to pay attention to some of the skills and try to kill them as quickly as possible. Now, I had the carrot root because I'm a bank already, and I've also had to farm for receipts of swindle. Why does they farm for receipts of swindle? I bought it. So I did that, got the chaos root, and I completed the quest. Then I went to the Wandering of Illusions, and I had the chaos puppet already. And as you can see, I'm back to the not when we came back to it, but I had to farm the chaos roots, which I could have made use of it. Then I had to farm the Chaos Lord Iodua. I'm so butchering these guys. I'm so sorry. So I had to get the Dragon of Hours, because when it comes to this boss particularly, he has a skill that makes your haste like 30% slower. So it was relatively fun, to say the least, because someone did hop on to help a random pub. He hopped on to help, and he didn't have the Dragon Lord Hours, so I kept on getting debuffed, which I was like, dude, if you want to help, just go to another room. But I did another room because having the guy with me actually took longer doing it by myself. So I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to leave. So I left and went to another room. Then I went to Esheron for his robe. Then went to Vath for his dragon armor. I almost got baited because some of the stuff was very identical. Because when it comes to the armors, there is a legendary version and a normal version. I almost got baited for the normal version because I think it was 2 of the bosses have that. So I kind of had to pay attention which ones I was farming for. Then I farmed for the Legend Main. Legend Main was a, Legend Main. Back then, in my day, that map was so busy and people struggled to do the pads because nobody knew how to do the pads. So I had to do pads and I had to do Cassandra. This one, I almost got baited because they dropped the human version of the armor, which I almost thought it was the same thing, so I had to go back. Then I went to Chaos Lion Fang for his armor. Then I went to Zing Zang. I'm gonna call it Zing Zang. This just makes it easier. Then I bought the Trace of Chaos. I bought it twice because I wanted to complete the final quest for the dual wield of the Chaos Blades. Because I do want to get some of the 75 tag weapons as well. So I just went to those blades. Then I also finished the Shadows of Disdain. Then I Pretty much focused on the last quest, which was relatively easy because I bought the Trace of Chaos. Now, when it comes to Thursday, I think I broke myself. When I say I think I broke myself, the Legion Rider, I think I farmed almost 5 to 6 hours. I tried to do as much as possible because that room is come and go. Because when it comes to Artrix, the pubs are busy and the server is also busy. Now, when it comes to the Legion Arena pubs, the people are not attacking fast. So, or they're not attacking hard. In the sense of having a hard hitting class. And there's a lot of bots there as well. So we actually trying to do decent damage or trying to be useful, or they are trying to be useful. Well, likely that case, but some of the stuff I got lucky in some of the pubs. I actually struggled to get the last of the pub done because the last pub for Sunday, I also farmed for Sunday, and this is the reason why the video is going to be one day late. I struggled to find a room, and I kind of had to farm for the normal one-person room, which was horrible. I think it was room 4. Then eventually it filled up because I was support. Hey, I would like to farm as a DPSer, but you know, if everyone is DPS, you're not gonna get too far while trying to farm. So I pretty much, okay, let me go support. Oh wow, it's going 2 times faster. Who would have thought? And also, that person. Yeah, I just saw a random person floating in the middle of the screen. It's like, okay, I'm going to indirectly expose that person. I did some of the farms. As for last week's video, I did the indulgence and penance. I think it was last week or the week before that. I did the farm and I completed. Oh yeah, that was for the Forge Capes, and I believe that was penitence. Yes, penitent. No, was it penitence or eliminate? One of the two. Anyways, I pretty much focused on that, and I did the Legion Head of the Beast. Then I went back to the Legion farm. I did the Legion farm almost 4 times. Yes, 20 hours farming. I know, I got no life, and I'm proud of it. Now, I went back and did the Elysium, and I completely forgot to record the turning in the quest, so I kind of had to go back and just show that I did it. Then I went back to Legion Arena to farm for the 4th time. And this time I pretty much focused on doing the Reborn of the Lich King because it's a Legion token boost and all. And this farm required me to get almost 60,000 Legion tokens because I have almost 0 Legion farms. So I kind of just started from scratch. Now, me doing the Legion Rider method did take some time, and due to the fact that it's not March, I kind of had to deal with the pub. It's the only way I could quickly, and I quote, quickly get the farms and get the Legion tokens up. Now I went to do the Skeleton Warrior method for the undead energy because I needed some bone dust, and I also want to get some of my blinding light fragments as well. Then I realized, okay, I went over the amount I need really, because for the Necrotic Sword of Doom it needs 5,100 bone dust, the bones or the void realm. Then I went to the Dracolich, obviously getting more undead energy, and I also turned in for the Brilliant Aura or the Starlight of Destiny, because that weapon requires 2 Blind Knights of Destinies, which I don't have. I don't have any Blind Knights of Destiny except the one, really. But I have to do the ultimate version as well, the Overwhelmed Axe and the Polished version and the other ones as well. Now, I pretty much miscalculated the Lich King requirements. So I turned it 12, it's supposed to be 14. I don't know why I had to calculate that one. I had a brain fart, don't ask. Then I pretty much went to the Ultra Stage method because I didn't want to farm the actual requirements for the Reborn Lich King, because I'm not going to farm for Legion Remnants. I'm not that crazy. I am crazy, but not that crazy. Then I farmed for the final time for that week the Legion tokens, and I had some interruptions during the time I was actually farming for it, so I had to like skip some of the stuff. Then I got the Ultimate Lich King, the armor, the helmet, and I pretty much just turned in the last bit of it, and this was yesterday, so most of the stuff was just quickly do it and done. It was easy. And off to the other KO. Your turn. Okay, so for those who are actually curious on what's my progress like, okay, so I did like quite a bit this week. Obviously you saw me did the Hollowborn and some minor things. Apparently I just tried to focus on Hollowborn and Legion tokens this week, because Legion tokens is a boost and Hollowborn is just one of those farms that I need to do and I need time for it. And Legion tokens wise, I need the Hollowborn to be done. So in the sense of actually trying to do it, I was like, okay, I know the Hollowborn Lich King needed like a butt ton of Legion tokens, so I was like, you know what, let me just deal with it, let do it. So then, okay, so for those who are actually curious, I probably need like almost 11 days for the boost, for the Temple Shrine. There is a boost coming up later on this week. I'm not going to spam it. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be needing after the boost. So I'll probably be, say, maybe 10 or 9 days. And then, what else? This is not needed anymore because I did the Hollowborn Lich King. I'm just probably just going to max stack it because I am doing the dailies for the Legion tokens, because yeah, I need Legion tokens. I am going to do another run of the Legion Arena because in the next couple of weeks I'll be focusing on weapons, and the 2 weapons are Legion themed and they cost like around about 30,000 Legion tokens. So if I do one more run, I'll have enough for in 2 weeks, then I'll have some bit left over, then it's going to carry over. So it's going to help out in some ways. Some of the insignias I'm going to be doing next week as well, and in future weeks as well, because the Dauntless I am very close to doing it. I just need 1 more week, then I'll be able to get it. Then King Drago and Ultra Darkon. Those 2 I also need like 2 more weeks, then it should be fine. And it's pretty much it. Oh yeah, the Void Aura. I did Elysium because I want to get the enhancement done. And yeah, it does suck. I lost like 10 days of actually the whole thing. Well, almost 11 days. But it's fine. I can deal with the extra 11 more days of farming it. I am going to get the normal version and the original version, so it's going to be more days of it as well. And I did enhance some of the weapons. I got the Elysium. I actually enhanced my practice because some of the bosses needed some praxis. Then Health Fan for random classes that needs health, balance, and every blast is on my 40%. Now, in terms of weapons, I haven't done this yet. I need a full day on this. So when I do the Legion tokens, I'm probably going to focus on this as well. I completely forgot that the altar actually brings a 45% weapon as well. So that was a eye-opener, to say the least. Then for reps, yeah, I haven't done actually much reps this week. So I'm going to be focusing on reps next week as a sense of actually trying to get things done. So for next week, I'm be focusing on Archmage, Doom Meta Necro, Gramios, Divine Enoch, and Dauntless, and some of the reps. Now, there is a rep boost tomorrow, and there's nothing else particularly much. So I want to just focus on something that's going to take long and also quick to do. Archmage is a little bit a different story because there's a lot of quests to do. Although some of it is like just quickly just do it. It's like one or two, but in the future parts of it, it's going to be like 45, 50. So it's going to be a little bit annoying to farm Archmage, but I have last week and this week off, so I can deal with the annoying farms, to say the least. But other than that, I think I'm actually doing quite well in the sense of progressions and stuff like that. Other than that, I don't know what to do after next week because it's going to be a little bit interesting, to say the least, because the progress is going to be slowed down, and because I'm going to be focusing on weapons, and the weapons I've done already is little, to say the least, but it's going to be like almost, I think it's going to be a very short video compared to the ones I have done recently, because it was actually a lot of farms I have done the last couple of weeks. But in sense of actually the amount, I think this week and next week is going to be hectic, like crazy a lot. Okay guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to like and subscribe and let me know what to do in terms of actually farms and stuff. I generally don't mind farming for stuff, but as long as it goes into a class, a weapon, or something I can use. I'm not much into cosmetics, so in the sense of actually farming cosmetics, I don't think I need it for this ult. And I don't really know what to do after I get Radiant Goddess of War. Yes, I'm going to be doing that. And in the sense of that, I'm pretty much focused on badges, classes, and weapons, and some useful things like pets that I could use for farming and stuff like that. But other than that, I don't know. Okay? I really don't know. I hope you enjoyed the video. Cheers.